10,000 times. What happens when work accelerates beyond human speed? A six-person team, 2 weeks of work replaced by one prompt in 2 hours? And that's just the beginning. What do you do when the game you've spent your whole career learning suddenly starts running 10,000 times faster? When companies that adopt AI aren't just incrementally more productive, they're exponentially more dominant. This isn't speculation or startup hype. This is the new economic reality reshaping entire industries. The new baseline that's silently determining which careers advance and which become irrelevant. And the most dangerous part? Most professionals are completely blind to the shift that's already happened. If you're the kind of person who doesn't wait for disruption to hit, but gets ahead of it, then what I'm about to share will give you a strategic advantage few possess. Later I'll reveal the single most powerful competitive edge in the AI economy that most professionals completely overlook. And the most dangerous part? Most professionals are completely blind to the shift that's already happened. If you're the kind of person who doesn't wait for disruption to hit, but gets ahead of it, then what I'm about to share will give you a strategic advantage few possess. Later I'll reveal the single most powerful competitive edge in the AI economy that most professionals completely overlook. While mainstream headlines focus on whether AI will replace jobs, they're missing the actual revolution that's already underway. Leaders at companies like Intel are reporting AI-driven productivity increases not of 20% or even 200%, but between 10 times and 10,000 times. Let that metric settle for a moment. Not faster, not cheaper, not more efficient, 10,000 times more productive. Imagine compressing months of work into minutes. Tasks that previously defined entire careers dissolved into prompt engineering. What happens when the six-person team that spent 2 weeks crafting government proposals is replaced by one person using GPT-4 in 2 hours? That's not a 10% efficiency gain or a minor workflow enhancement. That's a complete collapse of the time value equation that your entire career is built upon. And this isn't isolated. McKinsey recently doubled their projected economic impact of AI to $7.8 trillion by 2030. Why? Because the productivity multipliers are proving far more dramatic than initially modeled. But here's what makes this particularly dangerous for your career. These gains aren't distributed evenly. They're creating winner-take-all dynamics where some professionals accelerate dramatically while others become obsolete overnight. But why aren't more professionals taking immediate action? Why does AI adoption feel optional rather than existential? The answer reveals both a threat and an opportunity. The human brain is fundamentally incapable of accurately processing exponential change. We're wired for linear thinking, for modest, predictable, incremental shifts. When faced with exponential curves, we systematically underestimate their impact until we're already behind. It's why Kodak ignored digital cameras despite inventing the technology themselves. It's why Blockbuster passed on buying Netflix twice for negligible sums. It's why 2-to-1 Canadian employees report fearing AI, but most still aren't actively adapting their skills or workflows. Our brains interpret the early flat part of the exponential curve as slow change or just another trend. By the time we notice the vertical climb, it's often too late to catch up. This psychological blind spot creates a brief but critical window of advantage for those who recognize it now. While others debate whether to change it all, you can be 3 steps ahead in fundamentally repositioning your value proposition. The question becomes, will you be on the acceleration side of this divide or the displacement side? Here's where we uncover the real competitive advantage most professionals are blind to. The force multiplier that's creating a 20,000% performance gap between leaders and laggards. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, frames it with brutal clarity. Iteration speed creates exponential advantage. Consider 2 competing professionals. Professional A improves 2% every 4 weeks, while Professional B improves 2% every 4 hours. After 1 year, Professional A is 29% better. Professional B, over 20,000% better. This isn't theoretical, it's mathematical certainty. And AI has just handed some players 4-hour iteration cycles in domains where monthly improvements were once considered aggressive. But most organizations and careers are still operating on 4-week cycles, or worse, annual review cycles. They're improving linearly, while their competitors improve exponentially. Speed of learning, adaptation, and iteration has become the new competitive moat, the new career differentiator, the new barrier to obsolescence. And most haven't realized the race has even started. So what does this mean for you specifically? For your career trajectory, your competitive position, your future relevance, it means the fundamental value equation of your work is undergoing a tectonic reinvention. Time spent is no longer the proxy for value delivered. Experience alone no longer guarantees superior output. Domain expertise is being rapidly democratized through AI tools. Iteration speed now trumps perfection. Learning velocity outweighs accumulated knowledge. BCG and Harvard researchers recently tested this directly. Consultants using GPT-4 delivered work that was 40% higher quality than those without it. The most profound implication? The biggest performance gains came from the least experienced professionals. This is creating a strategic inversion. In some domains, the junior analyst with AI literacy now outperforms the 20-year veteran who relies solely on experience. The strategic message is unmistakable. AI isn't just another productivity tool. It's a career multiplier that's fundamentally altering the relationship between experience, effort, and output. This reality is deeply unsettling, not because we're resistant to change, but because we sense the ground shifting beneath us, and no one taught us how to navigate when the rules themselves are being rewritten. That uncertainty creates profound discomfort, but it also creates your strategic opening. Because while most professionals will freeze in analysis paralysis, most companies will stall in bureaucratic deliberation. Most leaders will cling to familiar metrics and methods. You can position yourself on the accelerating side of the divide, precisely because others hesitate. The window for this positioning advantage is open, but narrowing rapidly with each passing month. So how do you actually execute this strategic pivot? How do you reposition when the productivity paradigm itself inverts? You need to fundamentally transform your relationship with AI and work itself. First, stop thinking of AI as a tool. Start treating it as a collaborator. Imagine a super intern that drafts your reports, writes your proposals, summarizes complex documents, translates your ideas into multiple languages, creates market analyses, and generates creative concepts, all instantly. But here's where truly strategic players separate themselves. They don't just use AI to do the same work faster. They use the reclaimed time to elevate their work, redesign their value proposition, and accelerate their learning velocity. McKinsey's research suggests AI will automate activities equivalent to nearly 30% of current work hours by 2030. But the strategic key is the phrase, current work hours. The central question isn't whether your current job tasks will be automated, it's whether you can climb the value chain faster than AI climbs from below. This means constantly moving your focus toward higher complexity judgment, novel combination of ideas, strategic foresight, and emotional intelligence, while leveraging AI to handle increasingly complex tasks that previously defined your role. While others remain paralyzed by anxiety and uncertainty, here's your concrete 3-move advantage framework. Move 1. Conduct a ruthless productivity multiplier audit. Don't just focus on routine tasks, that's the obvious low-value approach. Instead, systematically assess which complex high-value parts of your workflow could be 10 times or even 10,000 times better with AI. This includes creative work, analytical work, and strategic work previously considered uniquely human. Identify leverage points, where AI acceleration creates disproportionate value. Write a list of every repeatable task you perform weekly. Then for each one, ask, could AI do this 80% as well in 10% of the time? If yes, you've found your multiplier. But don't stop at identification. Create systematic processes to integrate AI into these workflows immediately. The professionals who merely identify opportunities but fail to implement them are gaining zero advantage. Move 2. Shift your performance metric from execution to iteration. The value premium is rapidly shifting from quality of execution to speed of iteration and learning. Stop trying to achieve perfection in single attempts. Start maximizing your learning cycles per unit time. Make iteration velocity your primary KPI, more important than any traditional metric. This means deliberately shortening feedback loops, testing multiple approaches simultaneously, and incorporating rapid adaptation into everything you do. It means releasing work at 80% rather than 98% if it means you can get 3 learning cycles instead of 1. In practical terms, if you'd normally spend a week perfecting a presentation, try creating 3 different versions in 2 days, testing all of them, and rapidly evolving the strongest approach. This seems counterintuitive, but in an exponential environment, it creates dramatic advantages. Move 3. Strategically reposition your professional narrative. Your career positioning must evolve beyond "I do X well" to "I use AI to multiply our capacity for X, which creates space for us to advance to Y." This isn't subtle rebranding or marketing spin. It's fundamental repositioning that demonstrates you understand the future of work isn't about competing with AI. It's about multiplying with AI. In team environments, become the integration architect who connects human and AI capabilities. In client relationships, shift from selling your time to selling your strategic oversight of augmented processes. The professionals who merely add AI proficient to their LinkedIn profiles are missing the point entirely. Strategic repositioning means fundamentally redefining your value proposition in the AI economy. If this sounds theoretical or distant, understand, these shifts are already well underway across industries. Autonomous taxis have driven over 100 million miles across 19 cities globally. AlphaFold is solving protein structures in 2 seconds that used to take PhD students 5 years. A construction company, not a tech startup, invested $248,000 in AI marketing and generated $8.8 million in new sales. That's a 37 times ROI in what is considered a traditional physical industry. Media companies are using AI to generate hundreds of localized content variations from single-source material, expanding their reach while reducing costs. The future isn't coming. It's already here, just not evenly distributed, yet. Which means your strategic advantage isn't AI itself. Your advantage is noticing sooner. Your advantage is acting faster. Your advantage is iterating quicker. Your advantage is adapting continuously, while others debate whether change is necessary at all. Let me leave you with this reality. The strategic insight that will define winners and losers in this new landscape. You are not in competition with AI. You are in competition with professionals who know how to use AI. Professionals who understand that iteration velocity is now power. That curiosity and rapid adaptation outweigh rigid expertise. That in a 10,000 times world, waiting is the highest risk strategy of all. If you're the kind of person who moves strategically before disruption becomes obvious to everyone, this is your moment to create distance between yourself and the majority who will only react once the transformation is complete. The question isn't, will AI take my job? The real question is, will you move fast enough to stay in the game? Because ready or not, the game has already fundamentally changed. Start by auditing your 10 times points today. Identify the 3 highest leverage activities in your workflow that could be dramatically accelerated with AI. Then come back for the next video, where we'll unpack the 3 strategic skills that are becoming exponentially more valuable as AI advances. And if you found this valuable, hit subscribe, because what's coming next isn't just insight, it's strategy you can use to stay ahead, while everyone else is still waking